Alright, welcome back. This is Phase 2, Day 1. The Union versus Confederate Opportunist Boosted AI. Again, I picked this scenario because it's the toughest. You're stretched thin, you're surrounded. There's a lot of victory points here to defend and to go for. We've got Oak Hill here, Oak Ridge here, Seminary Ridge here, Cemetery Hill, and Blockers? Blocker? I don't know. It's a smaller VP up here, but one nonetheless. And as I mentioned before, the VP victory points and casualties all factor into your end score. But what I found is your casualties tend to seem to be weighted more heavily than your victory points. So you can get all the victory points you want, but if you've lost half your army in doing so, the game judges you as a epic failure because you don't have the army to continue the fight. So while you're fighting this game in a self-contained scenario of Battle of Gettysburg, your success or failure here determines your ability to fight the rest of the war, which you don't actually fight. But that's why they weigh the casualties pretty heavily here. The AI is being pretty aggressive for Opportunist, which is good. I like an aggressive AI, and I purposely picked Opportunist because I wanted to see how the AI behaves with the boosted AI. Because Opportunist AI non-boosted, I could walk over pretty easily at this point. I've played this game a lot. So the Opportunist with a boosted AI may be a completely different challenge for me. As you can see, they're being pretty aggressive here already. And here comes Perrin. Some early reinforcements here. Biddle is, wow, they are coming strong. That's a smart move. Biddle's unfortunately running in the opposite direction in the confusion of battle. So, losing that line here. Cooper's going to canister fire. Hopefully knock some sense into these rebels that are advancing on me. Schimmelpfennig and Krzyzanowski should be sufficient to hold that line, so I'm gonna send these reinforcements north. Iron Brigade, all alone. I'm gonna send Paul up here real quick, like, or Iron is gonna be more like Copper Brigade here. I'm gonna commit Baxter. Now, Paul's condition isn't looking too good, so I'm going to hold him here. And, he doesn't run away from me. from their own shadow at this point. So Biddle's recovered. I'm gonna pull him back because I want him to recover and maybe sip some tea in Gettysburg while he waits. Because these reinforcements should be able to hold their own down here for now. They're fresh. And they're facing, well, the odds aren't too good. I should probably pull them back to defensive positions. Sometimes I forget I'm playing against the boosted AI. So I'm gonna take these guys back. Paul's recovering some condition. Cutler's in full fighting form here, but I'm gonna keep him in reserve for now. I don't know where I'm gonna use him yet. I don't want to advance right now. You know, I could bring him against these artillery here to the west, try to take him out. But so Hall's almost out of ammunition, so I'm gonna pull him back on canister, hold some ammunition in reserve. This peach orchard here, where Schimmelpfennig is sitting, is good cover. It's about 50% cover right now. Krzyzanowski's in 61% cover. This is the kind of defensive position you want to keep your guys in. Perrin's out in the open. I mean, you really, unless you're doing a concerted attack, Perrin's just going to take a lot of losses here. So I'm not too crazy about Baxter being here. Pull him back because my reinforcements are making their way up. So Iron's doing a pretty good job of holding his line here. I'm gonna let Bucktail and Paul rest. Really got to pay attention to your morale and condition. Especially, I mean, morale will determine how long your men can stand and fight and withstand charge attacks. But your condition represents your ammunition and your general ability to fight. So your morale could be 100%, but if your condition's 0, you're not going to be very effective. So it's important to keep men in reserve, especially if you don't know where attacks are coming from or how the battle's going to unfold. You can commit your reserves where you're getting hit the hardest, or when you're in concerted battle and long-term volleys back and forth. Your guys are going to run out of condition and morale. You can pull your frontline guys back and march forward your rear guys and place fresh brigades against their depleted brigades, and that really can turn the battle. It can make them run. And having those brigades with high morale and condition allows you to follow up with the counterattack. Keep pushing against those enemy brigades that are on the run. So I'm going to challenge the AI to come at me here. got a lot of artillery. Got a lot of manpower. They're probably not gonna do too much. And you hit M here, and it shows the topographical map, so you can see where your hills are. It's after you play the game for a while, you'll start to know where the hills are, and you can tell by the gradients in the map. You can see the shaded areas or sloping positions. But this is a good way to see where your high ground is, especially for your artillery. As you can see, Heckman over here is on Cemetery Hill, so that's why he's able to fire long range at these advancing positions. So the AI, the AI's doing pretty good here. I mean, they obviously don't have the manpower to take my position, so they're not fruitlessly attacking with Davis and Scales. I'm coming to them obviously, but they're really gonna try and advance on my lines here. But I'm gonna sweep up and try to push them back, because they're taking a lot of fire from the artillery. And it's just one less position I have to worry about in this battle. So I'm gonna try and. So Oak Ridge is secure. Baxter's recovered pretty well. I'm gonna bring him up here and try to make a long defensive line and retake Oak Hill. And it's really important, I didn't mention this last one, but it's really important to keep your general units close to the heavy fighting, where you really need the support of morale and condition. It helps your men fight longer, fight more effectively. And it makes a big difference. It does. It's especially if they have supporting generals. And, all things being equal, the side with the supporting general will have an advantage. So I got these rebels on the run here. So I'm gonna go for the cannons. I'm gonna take a little fire here, but I got 2 brigades. You know what? I'm gonna commit Cutler and just try to squeeze him. But now we got Oak Hill under attack by Rhodes, so my little defensive line that I'm planning on forming here may not come to fruition. So I'm gonna pull back here because they got a lot of guys coming, and I'm out in the open. Now we got Early's division coming in from the northeast, so this is where the pressure really starts. Coming down on the Union player. I really just don't have the manpower to hold all these positions. because just right here, especially my whole right flank is going to get rolled up. So, having really hurt the Confederate brigades on this side, I'm gonna pull these guys back for support. Cutler did their job. Just gonna wait till he takes this cannon out. So, as you can see, a little worried here. So, I have to make a choice. I stand and fight, or I pull back. Pull back is the answer. And I'm gonna have to make a little pocket over here on Oak Ridge, if I'm able. I have a feeling the Confederates are going to push their advantage here pretty well. Once they start charging, it's not going to look good. So I got to get these guys up here ASAP. Biddle is now able to get back into the fight after a long day of sipping tea. O'Neill is repulsed, thankfully. Bring up Bucktail, support Valengilsa. As you can see, Valengilsa is a 1-star unit, which means they're fairly green troops and aren't going to be able to hold up as good as like Bucktail, who's 2-star, and Iron, who's 3-star. They can reload faster. They have better morale. They're just much more effective units fighting. So Paul needs to get in the fight. Gordon is right in their faces. And if you haven't been able to tell yet, the closer you are to a unit, the more damage you'll inflict. So this point-blank fighting here is pretty devastating. Yeah, I mean, look at it's Ames did not like that volley. So still clear down here. Looks like Cutler's holding off these weakened Confederate brigades. Only concerns this collapsing pocket. Kind of forming a V-wedge, upside down V-wedge defensive position here. Iron's been very effective for me. I mean, as you can see here under their the reload status, I've had 1,116 kills to 600 deaths. there's a lot of fighting left. This is phase 2. You know, Iron's lost a lot of men, but he's performed admirably. And we got more Confederate reinforcements coming from Oak Hill, so the battle's coming to its apex. Bucktail's pulling back. I'm gonna pull Paul up because Paul's nice and fresh. I'm gonna retreat Bucktail to the rear. Baxter can pull up here and support Iron Brigade, even though they should do all right. Baxter's added firepower should help push Pettigrew back, and you know, Iron's just slowly getting picked away here. He's holding his position. He's doing what he needs to do, but I'd rather he not lose so many men, because this is my best unit. And so Paul came into position, faced you know, nice and fresh. He faced some slightly weakened Confederate units and sent them back. So that's what you want to do. So I lost track of Cutler, and that's not good. Wow, look at these reinforcements coming in. So now I gotta pull units back again, because if I don't, I'm gonna lose this line. I mean, it's extremely important to protect your flanks. I mean, you really gotta do what you gotta do, because if I let this line fall, that's it. I mean, they'll just put the squeeze on these units here. I can't fight, you know, front and back. I really let Cutler hang out to dry there. That was my fault. Sorry, Cutler. And here they come again. I can keep these guys here to protect Cemetery Hill in case things get really bad, or I can send them north to commit to the battle. And the way things are looking right now are not good. Paul needs to go back. I think I'm going to pull him up. I'm going to need him. Even if I want to withdraw, I'm going to need him. So just in time, Biddle and Ames comes to help Cutler and hold our position here. They're They're coming at me hard here. See, they're gonna roll up my flank. These guys need to get up Smith and Coster to protect it. Good news is the battle is getting close to ending. Thankfully, because Tiger is an elite unit, and they're going to crush Krzyzanowski right now with some headbutts and bayonet stabs. And the risk of bringing my guys up here, I got some good cover, got some good positioning, but they also have good cover here. And you know, if I lose Smith and Coster, then my whole defensive Cemetery Hill goes down. And if I lose Cemetery Hill, I'm really going to be in a bad position for the next phase. And the thing with victory points is you do want them. Like I said, you don't want to lose half your army grabbing them. So the gamer in us wants to collect all the victory points. I mean, obviously you see something that says 2,500 victory points. That seems pretty juicy. Seems pretty important to have. But what you have to learn is it's okay to give up victory points, just as long as you're not giving up these huge ones. You know, if I lost Cemetery Ridge here and Seminary Ridge, it wouldn't be good, but it'd still be okay. I mean, I'd have a chance next phase to hold them off or possibly counterattack, and then when day 2 begins, you know, you got some fresh troops, more reinforcements. So the battle has not been lost, but wow, they just ate up my skirmishers there, Pac-Man. So they're doing a good job. I gotta keep. Bring Fiddle up here, bring Ames. Really getting squeezed on Oak Ridge. And Iron Brigades and Bucktail Brigades actually get at risk of getting completely annihilated. Yeah, I'm gonna get these guys out of here. Full retreat. Full retreat. So Smith and Coster. Guys here. Cutler's not in fighting condition. Wow, they really repositioned some forces down here to retake Seminary. That's smart. Good for them. I like what the AI is doing here. I mean, Opportunist is considered a lower level AI, but with the boosted AI, it's not so much. It's not so much a weak AI. It's very challenging, but that's what the boost AI is really good for experienced players. Is you can get all the different experiences with the AIs and still get a challenge out of them, even though they're lower level technically. coming hard, so Paul's got to stand and fight. Sorry, Paul. Wow, they are coming strong. Time to regroup. Brigade's final stand. So hopefully I can hold them off from Cemetery Hill long enough. I'm looking like that should be reasonable strategy at this point. A dark day for Union forces today. This is great. This is a great challenge. Typically the AI can't do this to me on the normal difficulty level, so it's good that veteran players can get a challenge like this out of the AI. It doesn't feel like they have a unfair advantage with the boosted AI. And that's the main thing. It's you want to give the AI bonuses when you do something like boost AI, but you don't want to make it to where you have to be absolutely perfect every time you play in order to win. You know, and this particular map is pretty tough, as it is, even against normal AI. They don't typically push me back this far, like I said. So the AI, the boosted AI, is doing its job. It's punishing me greatly. Battle mercifully will end here fairly soon. The main thing is they didn't take Cemetery Hill. I've lost everything else, but that's okay, because like I said, the victory points are one thing. You know, obviously lost a lot of men in this fight, but Union has a lot more men to engage in the coming days and phases. Luckily, because they just kicked my butt pretty good. But the now this is great because I've never had this loss ratio with the AI, and it's still okay because overall I'm still winning the casualty ratio, but I got to be careful. Phase 3, I may not be able to do too well because I just lost a lot of men. But I'm gonna have a really good defensive position in Phase 3. There's my strategy. It's pretty much all I can do. And there's the fish hook, the not infamous, the famous fish hook, defensive position. And we'll get some more divisions entering the fray. So this will be good. I'm gonna really like to see how they do against these fortified defensive positions. But this is gonna be phase 3. You know, I really have to hold them here. I don't think it means the end of the battle if I lose Cemetery Hill here. I think I'll have one more chance to redeem myself in the following day. But I really don't want to be put in that position. It's pretty important. This map goes in my favor, both with the victory points and the casualties. So until next time, adios.